You are a leader. You think you're giving clear direction. However, it feels like your words are falling on deaf ears. Do you need to flex your authority and rule with an iron fist? Or is there a softer, simpler approach that's going to get the results that you desperately need? There is a time and a place for clear and concise communication. However, if you want to get the most out of your face-to-face interactions, it's all about the heart. What do I mean by that? I'm referring to the emotional and relational aspects of how we communicate with one another. Now, if you're feeling the urge to roll your eyes at this idea, don't stop watching this video, because I'm speaking directly to you. Sadly, much of the interaction that we see today lacks feeling and depth. Unfortunately, most tend to assume that there is no place for emotion in the workplace, instead favoring facts and emotions to a fault. Although this kind of communication can be effective within the right setting, it requires an established rapport and common understanding that most do not possess. Otherwise, it produces a sterile and disengaging environment, riddled with strained interactions and little hope of effective collaboration. If you really want people to hear you, it is essential that you establish these 4 components into your words and actions rather than just conveying information. The first is authenticity and honesty. People can tell when somebody is being insincere, and this creates barriers in communication. Think about how you feel when you can tell when somebody's totally faking it. Remove the word honestly and the phrase, "I'm not gonna lie," from your vocabulary, because it invites the listener to assume that everything you've said up until this point has been dishonest. To apply this effectively, don't say what you think others want to hear. Instead, speak truthfully, and your genuine sentiment will come through naturally. Also, take the time to explain the why. It shows respect to your listener. Number 2 is empathy, and it's necessary because understanding and caring about somebody else's feelings builds deeper connections. Do not view this as a waste of your time. When you communicate with empathy, you show that you truly care about the other person's perspective, which fosters trust and strengthens relationships. Once you establish a pattern of empathetic communication, you will inspire an eagerness in your team to offer something in return. Your audience is far more inclined to go the extra mile and respond quickly to your requests, which are some of the things that you're trying to accomplish as a leader. To apply this, employ your active listening skills and put yourself in the other person's shoes. You don't have to completely agree with them, but try to come to an understanding of why they feel the way that they do. Acknowledge their feelings. Say, "I can see that this is important to you," and respond with kindness and support. Number 3 is positive intent, and it's necessary because communicating with heart requires assuming the best of others. This can resolve misunderstandings and prevent conflicts. You must fight the urge that you think you know the other person's motives, and assuming they are negative in intent. Most of the time, these negative assumptions are incorrect anyway. And in the rare instance that there is true malice or negativity, your patience and goodwill may be just what is required to neutralize it. When you approach communication with positive intent, you are more likely to inspire goodwill and understanding, which is the outcome you want. When you see that there is a disagreement or tension, try to see things from the other person's perspective and approach the conversation with an open mind. Assume that they have good intentions, even if their actions or words don't align with yours. Number 4 is critical: emotional awareness. Being aware of your emotions, as well as the other person's, is going to allow you to navigate conversations more skillfully. When you are working through a disagreement, the first person to become emotional loses. Maintaining your composure is a silent display of your authority as a leader and a reminder to everyone that you are in control. When you communicate with heart, you are responding in ways that are emotionally intelligent and respectful. This practice pays dividends by enhancing your influence and establishing your reputation as somebody who is able to navigate complex situations. Before responding, check in with your emotional state. Are you upset, anxious, or calm? Try to gauge the emotional state of the other person and respond with sensitivity. If all else fails, use the power of the pause and take a deep breath. If you feel frustration building inside you and you're afraid of what you might say, respond with, "Let me think about that for a moment." When you communicate with heart, you make others feel valued, heard, and respected, and it fosters an environment that goes far beyond surface level interactions. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything else flows from it." In the context of communication, this reminds us that speaking from a place of sincerity and integrity is a reflection of what's in our hearts. This has a profound impact on the way that others receive our words. And the deeper truth here is that you can't fake it. Saying one thing but meaning another is destined to fail. You must be true to what you believe. If you aren't fully convinced of what you're saying, nobody else will believe you either. Want to learn more about how communication and culture can completely transform your business? Check out the comment section or video description for instructions on how to schedule a complimentary consultation with one of our experienced business advisors today. Make sure that you watch this video next to learn more about how communication and culture can completely transform your business.